You know, Tosh, talking about the ATC, like this is my first time actually like teaching a class, right? And I think I can talk pretty well to ATC, what it was before too, what it is now. All kinds of cool different little things, man. When it comes into the real meat and potatoes of the context, I think there's a lot more that could be added, but that's going to be after, right? Like you got to run through this a few times to really know what's going to be the most valuable information you can teach, right? Because these are like 30-day new associates. You know what I mean? Like brand new. Some are like probably
Smooth
repeat
in the door.
Right. Some are repeat,
yep.
you know, given, but like at the same time, like these are new people. Like this is the first impression you really get to make on them when it comes to onboarding and training and things like that. And if there's one thing an organization should do always is focus hard on onboarding.
That guy.
What you do in the first 30 days of any new employee's experience with your company will resonate into a retained associate or an ex-associate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it says if you can keep somebody for 90 days, you got them, right?
Yep.
But if you can't even impress them within 30, how are you going to do that in 90? So that onboarding program for 30, 60, 90 should look really intense for the first 3 months.
Yep.
Lots of check-ins, lots of checkups, right? Like tests, quizzes, like how you doing? Let me walk around with you tonight. Let me do this with you tonight, right? But teaching is something that I've never really done, even though I'm like creating a couple of things like keynote speeches, right?
Yeah.
I've been creating a couple of keynote speeches kind of on the side thing, man. And just like, there's no real like content to it yet, but yet I think that it's still going to be valuable, right? But I don't know what I want to really create it for, because like, what is the most impactful thing that anybody can do these days, right? If you're gonna keynote speeches, if you're gonna like just to say, like for instance, a leadership conference, right? Like if you're going to talk about something, what is going to be the most impactful for the minds that are watching you, right? Like, and I don't know, yet, man.
That is very abstract, because you know how many leadership conferences have we been to just at Grand Casino alone?
Oh, dude, I go to 3 or 4 a year, man.
And how many of them are actually captivating enough to even hold your attention? What is it about those speeches that actually, if there was even a speech that actually did that, actually made you think, yeah, I think I want to apply that somehow. What was it about that speech or those speeches that actually stuck in your brain and made you want to try and change something different or apply it in a way that could help you?
Because, you know, and the last thing that I ever want to portray, like as a keynote speaker or anything like that, is like, so like, you know, you go to some conferences, and sometimes you're like, oh shit, that was good. Like I've heard this guy before. I've heard of this guy before, or whatever it is. Right. But the last thing I want to be is like, I want to do something because Ryan told me how to do it.
Right.
I don't want to be the name and have people like look up to me just because of a name.
Right.
I want them to be able to take what I have and actually apply it for themselves and take things out of that and do new stuff. Right. So like, I don't like, because I feel like a lot of the times these conferences and stuff, they put big names and things in there. Right. Like, but a lot of the times the things I've gone to is the big names is talking about different shit that other people have talked about, but you're only listening because it's the person.
That person,
right?
Because of a title.
I don't want to be that.
Or a name.
Using someone else's quotes and other experiences from other people and using theirs to apply it to someone else's experience, and then make their experience what you're listening to, you know, but it's really someone else's experience.
Right.
I get that. But again, you're just trying to apply it to ATC, then so it's probably the best thing to do, really, because it's, when you really think about it, it's when it was some of the most successful times in the business is when we were preaching that.
Yep.
And things change, and now I think it's time to get back to the roots of everything, you know, the basics of it all. Yes. And I think to go back to what the number one thing was, and what retained guests for us was our treatment of them, and how we applied it all to our guests, and everything was more for the guest.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Guest centric.
Guest centric.
Guest experiences.
I dig that.
Hell yeah.
Centric.
Let's see. So dope though. I agree 1,000% with that. It makes all this. Yeah, we're talking about the onboarding, right? So yeah, you're a real natural at that stuff like that, right? I appreciate that, Bex. Thank you so much, man. Just from teaching people something like destiny, you have a certain way about you that is clear and concise and makes people believe they can actually do it. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. And you know, with that too, right? Like thank you, Bex. Thank you so much. Like one of my passions as a leader, I think we've talked about this before, is unlocking people's potentials, right? Like I never want to go into a teaching or a learning session of any sort saying, I'm going to teach you how to do something and this is the way that you're going to do it. Like, no, I'm going to teach you how to open your mind to new things and apply all of that stuff to the way you want to do it.
Right.
Because if you do the same thing over and over and over, it's the definition of insanity, literally, right?
Right.
With
Absolutely.
expecting a different result, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Unlocking minds and unlocking potential, and it's DE&I, right?
Right.
The equity that you get from diverse thinking is so much more meaningful and valuable than anything else, man.
Right. So I've actually done some training like within my former department, and what I always concentrated on was showing them the lines that you can't cross, right? Like here's no, here's yes, and there's a whole bunch of space in between, right? Like we know, you've been in, you've taught me a ton of shit, right? About the department that I used to be in with security, but like exploiting that gray area, right? Like we all have these boundaries that we have to stay within. You know, you liken it to driving home drunk. Shit. There's ditches on either side, right? And as long as nobody else is coming towards you, you can use that whole damn works, right? When somebody else is coming towards you, maybe you gotta stay in this section of road, you know? My dad actually used to say something when he seen somebody swerve outside of their lane. He'd say, you know, they pay taxes for half of the road and they want the middle half. Okay, yeah. So you just move over a little bit and let them have the middle half because that's where they're at, right?
Sure enough, yeah.
So you kind of got to meet people where they're at, and so that's I really like what you're talking about with this because it's like not being the name, right? Not being the name or the face or the title of what you want to train on, like for this public speaking thing, right? This keynote speaker. It's all about like real life shit, right? I know you well enough to know that you're all about like real life and what really makes a good leader and a good speaker, and you know, we do this shit all the time, right? Whether it be in a room with just you and me, or a room with me, you, and 10 people, or you know, not even us, but we do this shit all the time, right? You talk to people like they fucking matter.
Bex hit it right there on the head. Just like a lot of people don't even know what they're even capable of until they are molded and shaped in a positive way.
Correct.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it takes an awakening sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't even realize that, man, I'm an excellent leader. I'm a great worker. I can absolutely show some people how to do this. You know,
I have ideas for new processes that can make things more efficient.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I have shit to offer the rest of the world.
And it might not necessarily be in that department or even in that facility for that matter. You know, they might take it somewhere else. And that was another thing that was very positive about our plays before, working at the casino before, was that our trainings were like top notch. People used to look at us and say, "Oh, you were trained there? That's where you worked before. You trained with them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on over here. Come work with us.
Hell yeah.
Let us see." And it's important. It's important to open up these things and open up,
right,
and let people see what they get, their potential, even if it's just pushing them up. I guess
allow it.
Allow them to flourish in that.
Yeah.
And they'll take it somewhere else, and someone else will see that in them and do the same thing.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And I think that's what it's about, right? So like, there's initiatives across, organizations that say their career accelerant is kind of what that's listed as a what do you call it? An industry standard, right?
Yep.
It's career acceleration, right? So there's two things that come with that, right? There's the positive and there's a negative thing. The positive thing can actually mean something to people, man. And then in a negative way, it can be so detrimental to people's personal well-being, man, right? Is to lead with false hope. And, it's I'm going to teach you how to be the best you can be. And you're going to go somewhere and do something with this.
Right.
And then you teach them the wrong shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's so bad, right? So like you teach them toxic culture and you teach them bad things and you teach them hard ways to do things. And it's just little conversations. It's little things that make big differences, right? It's sitting at that break table on lunch and being like, "Oh, I told that guest to take a fucking knee somewhere."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kiss my ass. I don't want to do that for you or nothing like that. And having somebody else agree to that and have that think that that's okay, right?
Right.
And then, like during training, you're just kind of like, "Well, how would you handle this? Handle it and then we'll let you know."
Right.
And then you handle it and you don't do it right, and then you get praised for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, "Oh no, that was great. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yo, way to kill it. Way to kill it, killer."
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
and then you
died.
but it was so bad, and then now that's learned behavior. Now it's repetitive.
Yeah.
Now it's repetitive. Now it's repetitive. You go somewhere else and be like, "Well, we did that at the last place." They're like, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
Yeah, that's what we did in class, and that's what they said. It's okay.
Yep.
Learned behaviors can be changed behaviors too, though.
Learned behaviors can be changed behaviors.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
Because you were led by some bad people at one point in time doesn't mean you can't see the wrong in that and apply the right.
The right, absolutely. And I think that's great, man. That self-actualization is like super duper instrumental in knowing that you yourself want to develop into something new, right?
Because some of the best shit that I've learned about being a leader, about being, somebody that does what we do, is from a bad boss.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, I am never going to be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
with the head shaking and everything.
Yeah. Head shaking.
Talking out your neck.
Yeah. That one is not going to, that's where a lot of learning comes from.
Yep.
Right.
It's also a self-realization about yourself too.
Right.
You have to have a conversation with yourself and your own attitude and realize that and accept that, I might have been a toxic person at some time in my life too, and maybe have been damaged at some point in time and have some PTSD from and working in that capacity.
Trauma, man.
And and that might come out. And then you have to stop yourself and realize that, man, that's not even who I am.
Yep.
Right.
You have to realize that you have to be the change.
Yes.
Dog, man, if there's anything that all of my therapy sessions that I've been through in my life and stuff like that taught me is that realization that, you know what, it might have been you, dog. You put yourself in that situation. You thought it was that way. You thought this.
Shit might be bad at work because of your ass. You might have been the one that's doing that shit. You might be that grumpy motherfucker. And I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, yeah, I done talk some shit. Call some motherfuckers. I can admit my faults.
Yeah.
I know where I'm at.
And but fuck you anyway.
But fuck them motherfuckers anyways. You want to square up?
Because you can't always show up 100%, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't always fucking.
There was I heard a saying that
to
being you is great. You know, that's great. Be you. Be all of you. But all of you isn't great, isn't real, you know, isn't the nicest.
I dig that.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
I dig that a lot.
What you have to offer, you can be that person. You want to be a fucking snobby asshole. You want to be a prick. You want to be whatever. You want to be full of yourself.
Yes.
Fine, be you, but realize that all of you isn't great. Isn't real, isn't what everybody needs. You need to fix some of you.
That's
I like that.
That's cool as fuck.
I like that.
That's cool as fuck, Benji. I dig that.
Yeah, and like Beck said up here, right? Bad leadership can literally ruin someone's career. Absolutely. It can take so long to undo the damage that is done.
Ruin a business.
Yep.
Yes.
It can ruin a lot of businesses.
Ruin a business. I have absolutely done some things and said some things in the moment that I definitely regretted afterwards. Yeah, absolutely. Right. And I have to remember that there's always a time and a place. Right. Absolutely. And sometimes it's just so hard. Right. Like, and it you know, like we're just talking about this too. Like sometimes that has to do with, you know, past traumatic incidents that have happened, you know. Trauma doesn't have to be violent in nature. Trauma can be literally a phrase or a statement that somebody said to you at one time, right? And it just sets you off, right? So like that's always the thing, because I have problem with that too, man. As I grow older, dog, I'm quicker to tell somebody the truth, exactly what I think is that truth, right?
Lauren Hill said it best. She said, even after all my logic and my theory, I'll add a motherfucker so y'all ignorant niggas hear me.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I might come down to earth and I might be able to preach to you and tell you something, but motherfucker, I'll slap the shit out of you too, goddammit.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be quick to chop that throat.
Sure enough.
Punch you right in your nose.
Bow.
Sorry. I'm too old school for that shit.
Right.
Trying to be gentle parenting.
Forget about think I'm gonna forget about my past? Shit.
And Beck says, yes, that trauma will get you when you least expect it. Right. 100%.
That's the shitty part.
I'm like, I'll tell you all about yourself. You ain't careful. Hell yeah. But that's not necessarily a good thing at work. No, it's not a good thing at work. Ever, really.
But they started with me first, though.
But you should have heard what this motherfucker said to me.
You know what they said to me, though?
Yeah. It doesn't matter because you're the one that reacted like that, right?
Sometimes you gotta learn to fucking bite your tongue. Oh, it sucks. It hurts.
Yeah.
Hurts.
I don't know. My last couple years I had as a security professional, I'll say it that way, right? It was a little rough. I got a little burnt out of it. I'm not gonna lie. Dealing with that negativity on a daily basis got rough, and I had to have some good conversations with a therapist to understand how that affected me and how it affected how I respond to things and things like that, right? So I respond a little bit differently these days because I'm more self-aware on things that happen and the words that come out of my mouth. You know what I mean? Oh man, dude, but I tell you what, man, dealing with people is a special challenge, man, and I think that's why I think the most positive thing today for me is knowing that I have the opportunity to help mold these young minds, because these new generations got a kind of fucking fucked up situation anyway, coming in with all these challenges and stuff in this world, right?
Ain't gonna know how to work.
Yes. Man. There's Gen Zs and these the ones and the new ones coming up now that are going to be in the workforce soon, right? Like being able to share these stories and things with people, and how trauma and how bad work experiences can really, really take you down a dark path. But the light is in your mind. Like, you know, you have that potential. And once you can unlock that potential, you can really make something for yourself. And I think that's the most positive thing out of all this negative shit we're talking about, right? all the bad things that can happen. The most positive thing is that you're able to teach somebody how to unlock their own potential to prevent them from being part of that.
Open the mind and allow them to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Or get your ass whooped, one or the other.
Yeah. Or get fucking roundhouse kick real quick.
You gonna learn today.
You ever seen a fat motherfucker do a spinning back kick at your ass?
Think about it real quick.
Mic drop, boom. Doc says. Yes.
That's what's up.
Right, or bob and weave, motherfucker.
Yeah. Bet they didn't teach you that in fucking summer school, motherfucker. Beck says, Hunter, especially if you do want to get into Legion Roy, absolutely. Yep. And I think, there's a lot of good from that, man. And I think that's why I am probably really optimistic about this whole new teaching thing and really being a part.
That's really
of that.
Cool. I can't believe that's actually surprising to me that you've never taught.
I teach all the time, but I've never class taught.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I guess and thinking back, I guess I've not seen you as the facilitator.
No, I teach in different ways. Like and it's kind of funny, right? So these, the classes that you get for organizations, right? They're scripted.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't vary off the script too much because this is what is laid out, the path. This is the expectation of the organization, right? Yeah. But you got to put your little flair to it too. But when I lead, when I teach, when I mentor people, that's kind of what you're referring to, right?
Right.
I do that in different ways, and I'm not. Remember, there's no right and wrong way. There's a wrong way, and there's a right way, but there's no right and wrong way, right, for people. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain.
Let
me explain.
I'll get back to that story later.
Right. So the wrong way is knowing that you're teaching somebody something you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
We just kind of covered all that stuff, right?
Mm.
And then the right way to mentor is definitely as a perspective would see, right?
Right.
So you can never mentor somebody the same way as you mentored somebody else.
Right.
You have to be able to understand people's potentials.
100% individualized.
100% individualized, right? You gotta know what they're capable of. You gotta know what they want to be capable of, and you gotta know what needs to be unlocked in them in order to get there, right? So when I lead and when I've taught and mentored people, I try to not to get too involved with teaching people certain things to do certain things certain ways. It's more like, no, here's the problem. This is the end result. I want you to figure out how to get there. Right?
Yeah.
And then from that, it's little things. Like some people have real problem putting that together because they think it's so much, right? When it can be just simple things.
There's a lot of alphabet in between.
And it's defragmenting and compressing all that information that's going around in their head and putting it together and be like, okay, let me help you with this process when you're doing this, when you're doing this, right? Yeah. That's how you want it to do. And guess what? I didn't decide one thing to fucking do with this. You decided all that stuff. Right. Congratulations.
Right. Good fucking job.
Boom. Just like that.
At the end, everybody gets a high five.
Yep. They get a high five and they're fucking good to go. One of the biggest things to learn in life, turning all the negative into positives. Absolutely, Beck. Yes. And if you can if you can learn that, man, it's a wonderful thing. Absolutely. Who can always find that silver lining is probably one of the highest amongst all. Yeah, absolutely. And she agrees with that too. Everyone learns differently. That all goes back to diversity and inclusion as well. Yeah, absolutely. And you
done fucked around, made yourself one drink.
Oh, sorry. I guess I was kind of selfish, but y'all didn't hear. I was like, anybody need anything? I said it.
Oh, did you? Oh no, I didn't hear it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. No, it's Nick's turn anyway, man. Nick's turn anyway.
We be lying up in here.
Nick got to make a drink or grab a beer, one or the other. Make a drink.
I pulled out the Corbel like back in the day, man, and
dog.
I put some simple syrup and a little soda water in there.
Ooh, okay. Him getting off the couch and his little dancey dance took me out. Yeah, if you weren't fucking bobbing and weaving, it might have. You got to watch out for that thing swinging around in here. God damn it.
Little dancey
dance. You know, I think the one thing that we really lack up in this area is diversity.
Getting better.
It's getting better, man. But like if you walk around our place, it's a very public place that we work, right? Very public place. But when you walk around there, you don't see a lot of diversity anymore.
No.
Right?
Well,
and
never really, but
yeah, never really. Yeah. And then even in the workforce too, right? Like you got every once in a while a random person of some diverse culture come in and hang out for a little bit, but they gone shortly before thereafter, right?
Well, and that's a testament again to maybe they getting the training that they need and taking it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's not that it's not the company's fault. I think it's just the area. You know what I mean?
I think it's got a lot to do with it too, man.
And the location of it all is a big thing, and it's very unsettling for people who aren't from the small town aspect of everything. You know, I mean, we get bigger names coming, or people who've worked at different companies or bigger companies, and they come and work with us, and they're just like, man, it's great and all, but I can't vibe with the one road.
Yeah.
Drive straight and turn left. You'll get there.
Everything's just an off turn from the main highway.
Yep. So everyone gets a little bored with that shit. Ain't no conveniences, you know. Walmart's the biggest convenience. Just now getting some DoorDash going around.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. I got some tacos the other day.
And it actually, really? It worked?
It was good. I don't know.
Shit.
I'm in town too.
But fucking, he could get out and fucking cartwheel to get some tacos, and his motherfucking DoorDash right down the street.
Hey, you don't want to get up and do that. You tell me. You even closer, but if you had the opportunity, you can be like, man, I'm sitting right here. They told me when they're gonna be here too. It says I'm chilling. That's the best convenience ever. Because you know, if you could get the pizza delivered good, you
should write it there. Bet I get there before you.
I'll race you.
Yeah, especially delivery's free. Oh, you don't get the upcharge up here either? Is that right? Oh shit, man. Get you a sheets. We got Quick Trip is what they call it up here, Beck. You're talking about we're talking about casino and both really in the grand perspective of things.
Truly.
And you know, like the things that we're missing out on in this area because of that lack of diversity is really truly like it's you look at other areas of the country that are thriving a little bit more than we and or us are, right? And that's where like that's the whole equity thing, right? Like the equity that you get from having diverse cultures, diverse minds, diverse people, helping in a community or even just a business, right? Guide business, learn business, teaching new things, learning new things, like opening your mind to new things. Like you get so much important shit out of that. And it's so good, man.
It broadens the minds of everybody. And at some point, some folks are very closed-minded, but in most times, most opportunities, people are enhanced by it. You know, they see other perspectives and other views and how to do things and how to approach certain situations and people.
Yep.
Because then now these people who are so much just one way are opened up to a whole other way of approaching life and people as in business as a whole, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What do you make you a poo-poo drink, man?
You don't like it? Good.
You'll have to explain to me what that is.
Tastes like a cup of sadness.
Tastes like a cup of I just want to get fucked up.
That's kind of what it is. I got a little crazy with it.
Does that drink represent the month? What is this month? It's Men's Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, here you go. Solve all your problems right here. It is invaluable, Bex. Absolutely. And you can't get that experience without having those other folks around. Absolutely. I think that's 100% true, right?
And that is that is huge. Mm-hmm. Like just having that diversity is such an asset. Like that people don't fucking realize.
And it's just super unfortunate that we live in such a podunk fucking town where diversity is not accepted at all.
Right.
Like you still get those looks anytime you go anywhere, right? At least from one or two people, right?
I've been here since fucking dirt roads and deep ditches, and motherfuckers still act like I'm brand new.
Right. 100%, man.
Right. Well, you're from around here, man. I've been coming up here since fucking 82.
Yeah. You know who I am?
I lived on the north side of town since I was this big, motherfucker. You don't know me.
I used to play football.
You don't know?
Cornfields.
Yeah. Yeah, Bex, that's 100% serious, man. There's some racist people up this way, man.
There really is.
I mean, in all factors of diversity, when you talk percentages and stuff like that, like we actually probably hold a pretty good percentage of cultures here, right? Minus like, you know, when you talk about the native people, man, and you know, like the white people and everybody lives here, and then you got some black people that live here, you got some Mexicans that live up here. Right. Not too many Asians. You don't see too many Asians live up this way, man.
Not a whole lot.
You know, there's a lot of Asian folks, man, but they be on the low. Come fishing time, man, they be out at the lake. I be like, where are all these mothers fucking 50 people in one spot? Like, man, man. And I'm not even trying to be racist or funny or nothing, man. I'm like, man, where do they all live at? They live local. They live close. Why would 175 Asians be fishing in Mora?
Right. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know, there's
short just lying, man.
Yeah, and there are surrounding communities that maybe have more of one population than other. Like I know for sure, Hinckley, we have more of a native population than anything, right?
Right.
But still, that rift is still there.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And it's terrible, man. It's terrible to think about. Like, there's been nobody that's been able to, I wouldn't say bridge that gap, right? Like, well, I shouldn't say that. While I was working at the community center, we built a really, really great inclusive program there, right? We built a culture in that welcomed kids of all ages, demographics,
right,
and everything. They all came together, dude. I took a few pictures every once in a while, just to prove that like the things that we grew up having to deal with, even sometimes today, are not an issue if you give the right location and the right environment for people to thrive in, especially the children, man. Right. Like, because that's where it starts. Seeing those different color faces playing basketball on a weekly basis together, from different schools, from different cultures, from different backgrounds, from different religions, from different age groups. It was the most diverse games of basketball I've ever seen, and it made me so fucking proud that we were able to offer a space for kids to grow like that.
Right. Yeah. And that's where it starts.
Bro, it was amazing.
Because if they're already our age, right, and they've already got set in their ways because of mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, whatever it might be, you're too fucking late. Like, that person is already fucked up, right? The other thing that I'm going to probably lose some fans about is what they call reverse racism, right?
It's still racism. It's still racism.
Well, but
call it what it is, man. Just call it racism.
Racism is racism, right?
And what we need,
But they call it reverse racism because it's us minorities who are racist against the other people, right? Absolutely racist as shit.
Racism is racism.
That needs to stop.
Yep.
Because I see it entirely too often that they're supposed to accept you, but you don't have to accept them. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Yep. Not so much like verbatim that, but like, we're all fucking people.
When we stop making safe spaces for racism, and you don't allow it, and you call it where it is, no matter who it is. If you got a native friend who's talking about white folks, and you just say, "Hey, man, cool out." We might do that amongst us, right? But don't be out here acting, foolish to other people in public. We can say jokes amongst each other, and that's fine. But understand it's not cool. Yeah, we don't go out and put blame on anyone else.
Right.
For our faults, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Your faults are your faults. Let's not blame other people.
Right.
And sometimes it might be right, but
Yeah.
But truth be told, hey, we don't make safe spaces for racism regardless, no matter what anymore, man, because it affects people way too much now, and it lingers, and it festers, and it boils up, and becomes more than we really want it to be when we just wanted to tell a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might be just trying to say, oh, yeah, the so-and-so got the funny fucking looking butt, but you know what? That shit turns into something more.
Yeah.
It's always, oh, well, you got this, and then you got that. Well, this is that, and this is that. And, well, sometimes it's true demographically, but, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's still, you can't fight fire with fire, so just don't let it have a place to.
Don't allow it.
Yeah. Over here on TikTok, Stephanie says it's a tough topic. It really, truly is.
It really is.
You know, and if it's the one thing that I think, like, our circle, right, can really pride ourselves in, is that we've never were that, right? Like, we always have had some pretty diverse parties, man. Like, and always welcome in some very diverse people, right?
Diverse is a fun way to say that.
Yeah. And like trying to be something different than the norm, man. Like, and up here, the norm is not where you want to be.
Right.
No.
You know?
Yeah. Because if you're just regular, you're not fucking making a difference.
Let's see. Beck says people act like slavery was so long ago, and it really wasn't. When you think about the history of the country, it's no surprise to me that people are still rooted in hate. Yep, assholes, absolutely. Yeah. We have come a long way, but when you have a government who thrives on keeping us segregated and hating each other because it empowers them. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And sorry to say this, Beck, but slavery is alive and well. It's just not made popular and public like it was before. There's still a lot. There's still a lot of that in this country, in this fucked up area, like this world that we live in, man. It's terrible. Remember, there's other cultures that still hold on to their old ways too, that aren't necessarily or trying to be as progressive as we are in America, right? So there's other countries that still, they have plenty of slaves. Right. Sure. It's a thing today.
And without trying to jump down the whole fucking rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and blah blah blah, she is. I think that Bex is hitting on something with a government that tries to keep people segregated.
Yeah. Tell me, when you pay taxes at the end of the year and you see how much money they're taking, tell me you don't feel like a slave.
Right.
Right. I don't even look at it no more.
No.
I just consider myself broke for life.
I know. No, for real. I know how much money I'm quoted to get paid every year. There's a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But then I look at how much it gets taken from me.
Yeah. And that's a lot.
That's a lot.
On top of what's being taxed outside of that. So now I get my money taxed, and then I use that money to go buy stuff that's already taxed.
Money that's already taxed.
So I'm just like, y'all getting me 4 or 5 times over after the fact. So like I said, I just consider myself broke for life.
Sure enough.
Okay. I know I got some money because my bills are paid and I still got the lights on and we got a little bit of food in the fridge. But
I ain't all the way broke yet, but I'm on my way.
We ain't twerking for dollars yet.
I just gotta hit the create. I just gotta hit the create button on that OnlyFans account, baby. That's all I got left to do, man. Stuff like this is actually what should be talked about, though. So I know it's a tough topic, but people don't talk about it enough. You're absolutely right. I think you know. Even if it's a sore subject for a lot of people, like up here, you can't go to the bar and talk about this kind of stuff at the bar.
Will get into a fight.
You'll get into a fight, guaranteed, right?
End up in a fight.
Even though you might win that fight, you'll still be wrong at the end of the day, right? And
knock the fuck out of him, but he ain't learned no lesson.
I'm in jail.
Yeah, right. Yep. And it's just one of those things, man. Like, even if you were to talk about it and make it a thing, talk about it, make it a thing. In this area itself, there's no opportunity for that real melting pot where people can gather and
except the youth that we had.
And that was my one thing. That was my one philosophy, right? And is like, if we just give these kids a chance, just give them a chance to experience this.
Well, Steph said it's not the kids though; it's the parents.
Yep.
Well,
absolutely, man. Get them out of that. Let them experience people and the wonderness of others, and having friendships and building things off value versus looks. You know what I mean? And it just, man, like, giving them a chance is something that I really strive for.
So I seen a TikTok or a something.
Gotta get these feed pigs ready to go out.
Yeah.
Bag of chips for $6 now. That's what I'm saying, man. Oh my God, yes.
Yes. But I actually seen something on TikTok or whatever, wherever it was, about how a child responds to their family at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and I don't remember the ages, the exact parameters, but it was like from 10 years old to like 20 years old. Your kids are mentally programmed to not listen to parents, other people in home, blah blah blah, right? Like there's something within our psyche that they just don't even want to fucking hear it. That's why you see all these kids jumping in on their because, well, my friend's mom said this, or that, and they're so influenced by their friends. So like by that time they're already set
in their ways.
Yep.
They're already fucking set.
Yeah.
That's why you don't be your kid's friend.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to be your friend. And if you ain't gonna
I'm not trying to be your friend.
Fine. I don't care.
I'll just slap the shit out of you.
I ain't your friend. I ain't your friend's mom either. I'll beat your friend's mom up.
Yeah.
You want to listen to someone that get beat up all the time?
Think she don't get slapped by her mom and daddy too?
Machine, man. Hey, consider you guys my friends. Hey, you're actually literally family, man. And you're a lot more than just friends, brothers. So appreciate you, man. Love you,
always love you, Machine.
Still hate your fucking guts too, though.
Yep.
I'll beat everyone up. Let's go.
Hey,
go back. Oh my gosh, man! You guys, like, this is such a like, yeah, we're just alluding to it too, right? Like, this is something that should be talked about a lot more. I think more than anything, though, talk is cheap.
Right.
You can talk about it all day long, but if you don't live it and actually promote it, like, that's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
I think that's some of the newer goals that I have and aspirations in my most professional career, is to really try to diversify the people that are, I guess you could say, decision makers, right? And that doesn't have to be like an executive level person, like just people out on the floor, right? It's everybody. The people because here's my other thing. It's the people on the floor that make the money, man. Right? It's the people that are out there doing the day-to-day, doing the job, making the things happen, the ones that make it happen. The boots on the ground, the front line, the infantry, the ones that are out there getting that shit are the ones that make the money for the organization. And they're not recognized, and they're not. And this is not just in my joint, right? This is not, I'm not just saying that this is all over the place, man.
Across the world.
Across the board. My aspiration is to really, really diversify the places that I get to touch. The places that I get to touch, I want to leave an everlasting mark of equity, and I want to leave an everlasting mark that it is okay to be who you are, because who you are is what this place needs.
That's why you're there.
Anywhere you go.
100%.
100%.
100%.
That's it.
Yes.
Should I say 100% too?
100%. Bex is 100%. 100%. Drop that 100 up in
there. Yeah.
Hey, Steph, thank you for sharing that live.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
One of the things that I always kind of rely on being a leader is to bring your story to the table.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's got a story about how in the fuck we made it to today, right? Everybody's got that story. We can talk about that all fucking month long. But bring that story to the table. Yeah. So tell me, and what I've seen is that people appreciate when you're a fucking human and you bring that story to the table. Like, yep, they do. They tell you to do it this way, but I like to do it this way because this is what works, right? So, like, bringing that story to the table when you're interacting with people is fucking huge. Like being an actual person, not just that title that we had talked about before, not just the name, you know, that the keynote speaker is today. Oh, he was on this show or that, or he's an Olympian or whatever the fuck this person is. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, right? Let's take Ryan out of fucking Hinckley and
apply him somewhere else.
Apply him to the rest of the world, because that's real fucking life. That's a real person.
And opening up to people and making your story known. But again, I see it as and it's a good thing, and I don't want to say that it's not, but it makes yourself seem a little more vulnerable too. You open up yourself to different aspects of yourself to people, you know what I mean? You try to be real and let people know who you are, but that it then can lead to questions about your personal
100%. 100%. And I am all about, and I have preached this before to leadership groups that I've been in, is about like remembering to preserve yourself. Yeah. Right? Like I have boundaries. I do a lot of shit in leadership. What do you got?
No, go ahead. Listen, man.
I thought you were saying something with your hand. But I've got boundaries that as a leader, like this is me, right? And that's you're not gonna know about that. But I've also got a story to bring to the table. So bring that story.
The story, yeah.
No, you
not the information, not.
Yeah, you don't need to know about the
color of my shit.
Yeah, you don't need to know about the ropes that are on my headboard.
That's for everyone else. That's for everyone else's good.
Yeah,
that's for everyone else's good. Niggas are virgin werewolves.
Hey, you know, Beck's up here, and I love Beck's to death. Beck's a sister of mine. All right, y'all, just to know that. She said she didn't know much about the native culture until she started hanging out with myself and Johnny and Justin, right? So we played Destiny together all the time, right? And she said so she started getting herself a little bit more, engulfed into the indulged into the culture, so she wasn't disrespectful in any way, right?
Sure.
And knowing this group, you know, like we like to fuck around a lot, you know, so we like, even if something is disrespectful, we kind of make a joke out of it, right? But you know, and Machine Wally over here fucking with her a little bit.
Flirting shit, man.
Yeah. You don't need to know about that.
Yeah.
But you already told everybody though.
Yeah. Yeah, she said, "Beg, don't scare like that." She said, "We can show it." Candlelit bath times and wine cups. What?
Boy, ain't no bathtub.
Get out of here, man.
Wow.
Get out of here with that shit.
I want to see you in a bathtub, motherfucker. One leg hanging out.
Yeah.
Big motherfucker.
One leg in, motherfucker.
Half in, half out. Boy, you ain't never took a bath in your life. You mean you went swimming? You big motherfucker.
Just float.
Except for the hotel, except for the pool at the hotel, you ain't never been all the way submerged.
Over here, I took a Saskatchewan. Come on, what's up, y'all? What's going on, cuz? How you doing, man?
That's why they close the pool down, motherfucker.
Done run out half the water.
See, that's why I support Nick's statement. He said,
shut the fuck up. We're telling everybody so much.
Shit.
I don't even remember what really got us to go down that rabbit trail, right? Obviously, we needed to diversify a little bit.
Yeah. And I think
on from it.
And I think it's been a really, really good. I'm glad we got so much interaction from Bex and everybody in chat up here, right? This is really, truly a topic that I think I'm very passionate about. I know for one, right? Yeah. And I think that it's. When did Benji? This is also why I hate your guts. Man,
it needs to be talked about. Like
it's something that needs to get talked about.
It needs to be forefront in everybody's.
And I think that. Because I was talking about earlier, like I don't know what I want to teach. Like I don't want to know what I want to keynote about. I don't know what I want to do with that. Right. I don't necessarily know that I want it to be DE&I focused or anything like that. Right. Because as much as I live it and preach it and pray it and do it right, like I still don't know what I want that to be. But I know it has to be. So hard. It has to be an important part of whatever I do. Right. It has to be an important part of whatever I do. So whatever point I am trying to get across,
how to incorporate that,
it has to be inclusive to that, right? Yes. So it has to be inclusive to that. So that's my conundrum. I think that's where this all came from, right? Like that's my conundrum, right? So hopefully maybe this year, and I think this is something that I can really aspire to. This is a goal I want to set for myself. Is I want to build this keynote speech. Keynote speech is about an hour, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
About an hour.
Yep. 45 minutes to an hour. Yep.
Maybe that's something that I aspire to. This is a goal that I set for myself to do that. Maybe over these next few months of podcasts that we do here on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. live on Ryan J. O'Brien Twitch and TikTok.
Nice plug. Fucker.
You guys like that? You guys like that? You like that shit? That is the voice of a professional right there.
You should give yourself a couple minutes to do a nice intro, warm it up. Like, good evening, people. This is Ryan O'Brien, and I'd just like to let you know about the state of. This is my state of the band.
When I come to see you keynote.
Did you like that transition into that shit or what? I had you fucking dived in there for a second, but this motherfucker over is locked in here for a second. You like, you talking true, Don? Say something. It's like, yeah, and then 6 o'clock on Tuesday nights, you tune into right.
Oh yeah, shit. That's where we are now. It's after 6. I'm supposed to be at what's the haps?
No, I think I'm gonna get some valuable stuff over here. Like, this is why it's important, man. This is why I like doing this, right? So it's not your traditional podcast where you record it, video record it, put it on YouTube, you watch it, and this like that. Like, the purpose, the reason that this is live, is because the people here, get access to like 4 very different people, 4 100% different contrasting people sitting on this couch. When Justin's here, of course.
3 or 4. Few people.
4 skins. 4 skins to be
right. And at the same time, like this is like so good. Like, these conversations are so good. Understanding this is like something really, really cool, right? That's the whole purpose of this shit, right? So I think I'll be able to do it. And whenever I do this keynote, I promise you, it will be live here on Twitch and on TikTok, and we're gonna make sure that that's a thing, right? We're gonna make sure and record